Colonel Jack Jacobs is a best-selling author, Medal of Honor recipient, a true American hero for his service in Vietnam, military analyst for NBC News, and a dear friend. Jack, welcome back to the program. Always great to have you with us, sir.
Hey, good to be with you, Joe.
Well, Jack, your tone, your demeanor, I'm retweeting that we have Jack Jacobs on Twitter. We're just so excited to have you here, and we, with such respect. Syria, the president now wants to withdraw troops from northern Syria. Jack, you always have a great objective overview. What are you thinking this morning, my friend?
Well, I think it's a very bad idea, and I don't think he's going to do it ultimately, withdraw them all precipitously, because it puts in danger our interests in the region. And there are a couple things about that. The first is that the people who have been our allies in Syria and whom we are advising and equipping are the Kurds. And they've been the single most important reason why ISIS is on the run in the region. If we withdraw them, two things will happen. First of all, ISIS is going to come back. I mean, it's never really dead. You got to keep working on it. And we have to keep working on it. And second thing that's going to happen is that we're leaving the Kurds by themselves. And two things are going to happen there. The first is that the Kurds are going to need an ally, and the ally they're going to run to is Assad and his ally, Russia. So we're basically relinquishing any interest we have in the region, and we're relinquishing it to two really bad people, Russia on the one hand and Assad on the other. And the second thing that's going to happen as a result of this is that Turkey, who has already planned a military operation and was ready to launch it today or tomorrow, is going to sweep through northeastern Syria and is going to wipe out or try to wipe out the Kurds, whom they view as enemies because the Kurds want to have a separate Kurdistan. It's a bad idea from start to finish, and I think the president has decided he's going to think about it some more before he acts precipitously, but it's a very bad idea for our interests, Joe.
Jack, Colonel, President Trump said yesterday that he campaigned on this and we can't stay there forever. Does he have a point in that regard, sir?
Well, forever is a long time. We've been in a lot of places for a long, long time, and it's worked out very well. We've been in other places for a long time, and it hasn't worked well. There's a difference between the actual process of going somewhere on the one hand and going somewhere to get something accomplished. Part of the reasons we've failed in a lot of places where we've been, Vietnam is a great example, is that we did not have any achievable objective when we went there. It's sort of like, let's go to Vietnam and then a miracle happens and everything is going to be okay. But in places like the Middle East, in places like Africa, where we want to have eyes on a target, where we have people, in places like Southeast Asia, where we have advisors to assist countries in defending themselves, we have actual achievable objectives. It's going to take a long time, but just because it's going to take a long time doesn't mean it's not worth doing. And if you think about it, if the objective is to just get out of everywhere, we are relinquishing not only control, not only influence in the region, but we're also relinquishing our interests. And it doesn't pay for a country like the United States to be an isolationist. So, yeah, a long time, it takes a long time to raise kids, and a lot of money too, but the outcome is well worth the effort. And our effort in Syria is worth the effort, no matter how long it takes. But it's going to take a while to make sure that our interests are preserved, Joe.
Colonel Jack Jacobs, who with Joe on the radio at 7:32. Thanks for staying with us, Colonel. We appreciate it so much. You and I have talked about this many times, and I don't know why the world can't put together an allied rapid deployment strike force that is unified. Where's NATO? Where's the UN? It's always us. It's always America. Always has to come in. We always have to spend our money, Colonel. Why can't we put together? And you told me once, you insinuated that there was indeed some kind of strike force in place, but wouldn't it be great if we had like I guess you can't do it with the UN, but maybe a NATO, some kind of force where we could all join together and all try to just attack Syria, or if we're going to stay in Syria, all do it as a unified force. Is that possible, Jack, or is that going on and we don't see it?
No, it's not. I mean, there is a number of rapid deployment forces with which we're involved. We have our own, but we also have worked very closely with NATO. And one of the things the president's done that makes a great deal of sense is to squeeze the NATO countries, our allies, into making sure they cough up their fair share of money and people and so on, and they're actually beginning to do it. It's not where it should be yet, but we do have regular rapid deployment exercises with our NATO allies. We do it several times a year. Some of them are small. Some of them are extremely large, like the Reforger exercise in Germany. But we do have those, and we are doing them. The second thing is that NATO has deployed conventional forces along the border with Russia in as diverse places as Poland and the Baltic and so on. But one of the reasons we can't put a worldwide rapid deployment force together is something that you already mentioned, and that is we'd have to rely on the United Nations. And the United Nations, from any evaluative standpoint, has done absolutely nothing and won't do anything because other people who may be our enemies have veto power. Russia has veto power. China has veto power. So nothing's going to get done. It's a large bureaucracy that costs a lot of money and has been more or less useless from a national security standpoint ever since it was created, Joe.
And Jack, we always appreciate your time talking with the great Colonel Jack Jacobs. When will this troop withdrawal take place? Do we know, Colonel?
Well, the president would like to do it right away. The question is whether we're going to withdraw everybody or a portion of it. The Pentagon's arguing fair enough to take some out, but not all of them. And I think that's ultimately what's going to happen. The withdrawal of some of the people was supposed to take place as early as this week, though I doubt if that's going to happen. But some will be withdrawn, but they're going to be replaced with. They're going to be withdrawn actually from Syria, but some of them will be put in rapid deployment positions not far away, so we'll be able to go back in quickly if we need to. That's what the Pentagon's been arguing. But some withdrawal was scheduled to take place very, very soon, Joe.
And Colonel, is it? And thanks for your valuable time, sir. Are we withdrawing from all of Syria or just the northern portion?
Well, the president would like to get out of all of Syria, but the preponderance of our forces are in northeastern Syria. One of the things the Kurds are doing, by the way, in the area is that they're babysitting 70,000 Syrian refugees.
Wow.
And plus, one of the things that Turkey wants to do, and the reason they want to go into northeastern Syria, is that Turkey has a very large number of Syrian refugees, and they want them out of Turkey, and they want to stick them in northeastern Syria. So the refugee problem is a distinct one, and we're going to withdraw. When we do withdraw, we're going to withdraw out from where the preponderance of our forces are, and that's in northeastern Syria with the Kurds.
Colonel, we appreciate your time, sir. Colonel Jack Jacobs. Jack, hopefully, we're so overdue to sit down for dinner. Jack, let's do it. I know as we get around Columbus Day, but when we all settle down, I'd love to do that with you. We have such respect for you, Jack. Thank you for your service to this country and your expertise.
Well, thanks, Joe. We got the Cento Amici dinner on the 14th, Columbus Day.
Yep.
We're raising money to send kids to college. We collect up the money and give all of it away in scholarships.
Jack, I didn't know you were Italian. I didn't know you were Italian, man. I mean, I thought you just.
I had a lot of I grew up in an Italian neighborhood in Queens, and I had a lot of Italian girlfriends. And I don't know whether somebody's
there you go. And I know, and General Labuti's over there. I know, and the Joe Grano and all of our good buddies are over there. Jack, you are a great American. You're a great patriot. I'm so proud to know you, my friend.
I'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you, Colonel. Colonel Jack Jacobs, right there, Medal of Honor recipient. A great guy, just a great.